Good evening, YouTube and the SMA community, and welcome to round 4 of the Motorsport South Africa Cup 2025. Today marks the second leg of our American tour as the championship takes an interesting U-turn, as it was TNR Levitius that produced a near faultless display to claim an emphatic victory in the last round to become the third different winner so far in this season's MSA Cup. I am your main host, Flawed Genius Gaming, and I'll be taking you through today's race, set up to be a dramatic and engrossing encounter across the grid, with the championship wide open, and we'll be joined by my esteemed American colleague making his debut in the SMA productions, the perfect companion to have around in familiar territory as we visit the Glen. He may be named Slow Mo, but I assure you there's nothing slow about Mo. Please give the warmest of welcomes to my new co-commentator joining me in the booth today. Slow Mo, good evening, delighted to have you alongside me, and welcome to the SMA and the MSA Cup. How are you today?
Oh, Flawed, thank you so much. Too kind of you. I'm absolutely honored to be here with this group. Looking forward to some really good racing with some very talented drivers today.
Yes, indeed. You're going to be very, very surprised today, Slow-Mo, because yes, very talented drivers, very dramatic races, particularly so far in the MSA Cup. I'm going to need you for sure. But the MSA Cup is sponsored by SimulatorCave.com, South Africa's haven for all your sim racing equipment, selling only the highest recommended products from the likes of Fanatec and Moser, as well as racing cockpits for that perfect driving experience. Contact JP for all his helpful and friendly advice, and if you're still not convinced, book yourself a tour of the shop and test drive many of their sim rigs available so you get the full sim experience, leaving behind any doubts. Link is in the description below, and there will also be a special announcement on Simulator Cave to follow after the race and the driver interviews, so please stay tuned for that one. And also sponsored by TGSC Cape Town Golf Academy, the hotbed of nurturing young potential to golfing greatness. An academy with a breadth of history for producing talent on the world stage. If you feel you have what it takes to become South Africa's next global star, TGSC is the place to be. Thank you so much to our official sponsors for the 2025 season of the MSA Cup. Motorsport South Africa is the only place for official GT7 leagues on behalf of South Africa and Sim Motorsport Association, growing the sport together. Please contact Robin Williams, our MSA GT7 promoter, for further details. Email links will be in the description below and on our YouTube homepage. So let's take a recap on today and the rest of the season in the MSA Cup 2025. So we are 3 weeks down into our 10-week championship, and today sees us take a trip up the east coast of North America for round 4 of the MSA Cup at the well-famous Watkins Glen in the second of our Peugeot RCZ one make race. Then we'll be following that up next week for our final leg of the US road trip as we head over to the west coast in the first of our special events. We are at Laguna Seca. Car now confirmed, which we will announce shortly after today's race. Round 6 sees us back in Europe for the beautiful sunny beaches of Croatia, but looks can be very deceiving as this place hosts one of the deadliest chicanes of all track rosters. It is of course Dragon Trail Seaside for our new Group 3 one make race, which will be held the following week on the 14th of July. Then it's over to Japan for one time only on the 21st of July as we visit the Super GT haven of Autopolis. race. Then it's back to Europe for the final time as we head to Spielberg in Austria for the visit of the Red Bull Ring, the final different Group 3 one-make series of the championship to be held on the 28th of July before a short journey east across to neighbouring Italy for the Cathedral of Speed. We are in Monza, which then brings us to the grand finale of the MSA Cup for the second of our special events, where we head to France for Le Mans. Car still to be decided, but will be held on August the 11th, which will declare our new champion for the 2025 season of the Motorsport South Africa Cup. But that is the roadmap for this season. But what have we got for tonight's race? Slow-mo, please fill us in with all the details.
Yeah, thank you so much. So for tonight, we will be at the Watkins Glen, also known as the Glen. It's located in New York State. We're going to be running the long circuit today. The drivers will have to use caution as they're entering and exiting the pits here. It can be a little tricky in and out. This track is actually owned by NASCAR organization, and it is also hosted Can-Am, Trans Am, IROC, Endurance, Sports Racing, Formula 5000, NASCAR, and also Indy Racing. Now, let's review today's race settings. Here we see our race settings for today's race. We have a 10-minute qualifier. It's a grid start with false start check. The drivers will be required to use the soft compounds, however hard and medium tires are available. 4 times tire wear, 3 times fuel, and the refueling rate is 7 liters per second. The drivers are going to run 28 laps once we get to our main event here after qualifying concludes. And of course our drivers will be in the Peugeot RCZ GR3 car. This is a mid-rear, so it's a mid-engine rear-wheel drive vehicle. It is powered by a turbocharged inline 4. This engine will roll. It's going to go quick. These guys have a very, very good car that they are going to be behind the wheel of today. It is going to definitely provide some very exciting racing through today's race.
Yes, indeed, Slow-Mo. Thank you very much for the race info. And let's have a look at our driver lineup for Tier 1 and the results from Round 3. So, from round 3, we saw Tiernar Levitius record his first victory in this season's MSA Cup with an emphatic win, leading from the front and never looking back, as the rest of the pack were playing second fiddle to him, battling for every corner and position. In the end, it was VSR Richard who claimed second spot with an enthralling battle with fellow teammate JDJ. They were neck and neck in what proved to be one of the closest finishes to a race ever recorded in the SMA. As they approached the checkered line, it was JDJ who finished in front of Richard originally, but as he ran wide onto the grass was handed a 1-second penalty, demoting him down into third by the skin of his teeth, as well as one of his teammates, Wolfie, finished just a 1/10 of a second behind in fourth, and that was after himself making the latest of comebacks, stealing TNR Panic Potato's position right at the death as he ran out of fuel meters from the finishing line, lost his fourth place to Wolfie, and had to settle for fifth as a consequence. It was also a heroic drive from Puma Neal as he was battling at the top end of the grid for many a lap, but perhaps making one mistake too many towards the end cost him a possible podium, and in the end had to settle for 6th position. The same could be said for Tina Papaya Racer. At one point he was in a comfortable second position, but didn't get the rub of the green in the latter stages of the race and finished in 7th. In 8th was VSR Vis with another solid display to finish ahead of MGR Kennels, who secured a 9th place, and a disappointing 10th for TNR Latari, who showed great early pace but wasn't able to maintain it throughout the race. Securing the final position of Tier 1 was VSR Nitro Merlin, who once again did it the hard way, qualifying low down in 14th, but showed great strategic play and keeping it on track and consistent at that, took advantage of the rest around him to climb positions at the right place and at the right time to remain in Tier 1 for at least another week. So as down into Tier 2 this week and finishing in the drop zone was Puma Nutcap in 12th, TNR Vortex in 13th and Puma Racing GTR in 14th. All had opportunities to finish a lot higher up, but mistakes cost them in the end, and will be hoping for a quick turnaround of fortunes in their Tier 2 race today. In steps returning drivers of Sam Jensen, winner of Tier 2 last week, second place finisher VSR Giller, and third place finisher opening his Tier 1 account for this week. It's TNR Lightning Lorry. So what does that mean for the championship in Tier 1 for the MSA Cup after 3 rounds? So this means it's big changes across Tier 1 with VSR Richard with his 100% record of finishing on a podium step intact with 1 win and 2 second positions. Means he's extended his lead at the top to 22 points from new second place driver TNR Levitius, who is up 5 positions courtesy of his race win in the last round. He is on 1,168 points and 1 point ahead of third place VSR Wolfie, continuing his great start to the championship. VSR JDJ, also making great progress, is now tied with TNR Papaya Racer for 4th on 1,162 points, which means falling down 2 positions is VSR Fis, down to 6th with 1,154 points, and consolidating 7th is Puma Nil on 1,148 points, and likewise with MGR Kennels in 8th on 1,139 points. Rising up a couple of positions to 9th is TNR Panic Potato on 1,134 points, and VSR Nitro Merlin also up 1 position to 10th with 1,126 points, with TNR Latari just a point behind in 11th. 12th is VSR Giller, back in Tier 1 today. He has 1,122 points. In 13th is debutant TNR Lightning Lorry on 1,080 points, and 14th is Sam Jensen on 734 points. Now, it is worth noting that this is the Tier 1 points list and not an overall standings between all the drivers. So particularly the likes of Puma Nutcap that would be in this list had he had not been racing in Tier 2 today. Jensen has also missed 1 race, but with the drop round coming into effect at the end of round 5, standings will be balanced out from that point going forward. But best of luck to everyone in Tier 1 today. We'll be back in a few moments' time. Okay, so it looks like the drivers have got about 5 minutes left of practice. So it looks like we've got a full grid of drivers around this very fast but can be quite tricky location of Watkins Glen. Now, I think Slow-Mo, I think you are the perfect man to talk about this location, being American, being one of your home circuits. What is your opinion of Watkins Glen, and what kind of problems do you think will pose towards the drivers on this particular layout?
Well, Watkins Glen is a lot of fun to drive. There is, in my opinion, plenty of opportunities to make mistakes on this track, but you know, keeping it in line, keeping the car pointed in the right direction is key, obviously. The track will chew up some tires. There's a couple turns here. The drivers are going to want to push through to maintain pace. Those soft compounds are going to get absolutely torn up. You're going to see that front left get ripped up first, and the other 3 will follow. So I think it's important to see how well these drivers today can stretch out their soft compounds, as well as maintain or prevent their tire degradation as they work through this race.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, a lot of long sweeping bends, and I think, to be honest, of what I can tell in my experience of this circuit is a lot of short shifting, trying not to rev up the car and really spin out the rear tyres. So certainly is going to be a little bit strategic, and it's definitely going to be interesting on the tyre strategies as well. I know that there could be a few strategies on play, although the most obvious one that I've seen, and maybe I don't know if the drivers will agree with me, as we just see a big clatter into the wall there, but that is FIS. Yeah, it does look like with the softs being mandatory today, it means that the mediums and the hard tyres are available. And the typical strategy that the drivers, I've been told, could be using is the medium soft strategy, making it a two-stopper. But do you see any other kind of strategies on play here today, Mo?
You know, Flawed, it's always possible we could see somebody run those hard compounds. They are quite a bit softer than the other two, slower than the other two compounds. While you're on track, it may be a little tricky to maintain that position. If someone else has a tire advantage over you and you're on the hards, I wouldn't be surprised if you see somebody get past running that hard compound without contest. So you could see it. We may not. It's hard to say. Obviously, these guys have put in a ton of practice. They have their strategies outlined, and they're coming to win this race. So you're going to see these guys pushing hard on all three compounds, if I had to guess.
Yeah, you could well be right with that one. I guess we will wait and find out in due course. We have got quite a number of people in chat right now, so we need to welcome in everyone that has taken their time to check us out here at the SMA. So Rob G. Barker, welcome to you. Good evening to you. Rob G. Barker is now confirmed as one of our commentators for the MSA Cup this season. So good to see you, Rob, and absolute gent and legend that is Rob G. Barker. Really appreciate you being here, as well as we got Shahida in here. Mami Khan, good evening to you, and thank you very much. Yeah, I was quite proud of that intro video, so I'm glad you noticed, and yeah, thank you for the compliment. We have also got CJ in here. Good evening to you, CJ. How is the UK for you? Hopefully, I mean, you're probably used to the hot weather, right? So in the UK, very, very hot right now. So hopefully you're bathing in the glorious sunshine out there. We have got Saki Noodles in here saying, let's go JDJ. So we've definitely got JDJ Anirax out there. JDJ, I'm trying to find him on the circuit actually. There he is. There's your man. And then we got Sir Mags behaving. I don't believe that for a second. Welcome. Dana in here, of course, my partner. So Dana, good evening. Absolutely lovely to have you in the chat as always. Please do give a warm welcome in the chat, please, guys. And thank you so much for welcoming Slow-Mo as well. And yeah, first SMA commentary, but I do emphasize that Slow-Mo is an absolute legend, and I've been absolutely blessed to have him alongside me today. So he probably doesn't need the luck. He's gonna fly with he's going to get through it with flying colours, should I say. We've also got Parquet in here as well, Slow-Mo. Parquet, of course, one of the drivers in the NRL. This is where Slow-Mo is famous for doing his fantastic commentary. Part of the NRL with myself as well. If anyone doesn't know what the NRL is, that is Naughty's Racing League. And also, a big announcement as well. Naughty from Naughty Racing League will be our commentator for round 6 of the MSA Cup as well. So yeah, a lot of announcements coming in thick and fast, but great to see everyone in here. Stephen, welcome as well. Wessel in here as well, and anyone I've missed, I'm not sure. We got Ruan in here as well, and Matthew as well. Welcome. Hopefully you're going to enjoy today. It's Watkins Glen. I mean, need we say more, Mo?
No, not at all. There's going to be plenty of drama through this race. 28 laps is going to keep these guys close together. Of course, the pit strategies might separate the field just a little bit, but ultimately there's going to be close racing all the way through every lap we have today.
And do you think, Mo, that so obviously a lot of practice would have gone into this race, right? They would have been probably dead set on their strategies. But do you think that they could be changing things up on the fly depending on their situation? Maybe, you know, we know that the heavy damage is applied, for example. So should there be an accident and stuff, do you think that there could be a few changes, a few surprises along the way?
There absolutely could be, Flawed, and you know, don't forget that the wind direction on this track can also play a big factor into what's working best for these guys. Obviously, we know there is no bump drafting allowed, so that's going to be something that we'll watch for on the straights with these drivers today. There could also be some fuel saving that goes into it. Heavy damage, you know, you go back and maybe hit your pit strategy a little bit earlier if you end up with damage, quite possibly. So we could definitely see some shakeups in their initial strategies.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, I mean, so we're doing the full American tour at the moment, Slow-Mo. So last week we was at Road Atlanta. Today we were at Watkins Glen, and then next week we're at Laguna Seca. Where does Watkins Glen rank in terms of your top circuits?
You know, it's definitely up there. Honestly, ATL is probably one of my personal favorites. Laguna Seca is one of the other ones. And then I put Watkins Glen up there quite high as well. So definitely top 3 for me.
Okay, that's interesting. You see, like for me, I've never been good in America, to be honest, which is such a shame. But yeah, Watkins Glen, certainly one of them circuits where I can never really save my tyres. As you see, JDJ with a big spin on, I think that is the chute, isn't it? I do believe. But yeah, JDJ just showing off there. It does probably mean that qualifying is about to get started. We've got a 10-minute qualifier ahead of a 28-lap race here at the Watkins Glen in on the east coast of North America, near New York, I do believe. Isn't that right, Slow-Mo?
That's exactly correct. Yes, it's also named after a town that's, I believe, just north of it, so Watkins Glen.
Right. Okay. So yes, Watkins Glen. I would imagine quite warm out there. I do believe that there is a bit of a heat wave going on in North America right now. I saw something on the news actually about power grids going down and things like that. Is that true?
It's very hot here in North America. Yes, I'm actually in the Midwest, and we've got a very substantial heat wave. The humidity is what really gets to you.
Well, you see, like in the UK, me being based in the UK, we're used to the rain, we're used to the cold, right? But right now we're experiencing a bit of a heat wave where I've got a fan blowing at me like it's a gale force wind right now. It is keeping me cool. Hopefully you're not hearing it on the microphone, but yeah, certainly trying to keep cool, trying to keep my equipment cool. I've been told that it's 34 degrees here in London, and where our houses are not, you know, we basically have our houses built for the winter, trying to keep the heat into the houses, and where it's a very hot day today, of course, 34 degrees outside. It's more like 40 degrees in my room. So luckily I have got the fan going, but I am in meltdown right now, though, I have to say, which is not good. But yes, let us know, for everyone that's in the stream, let us know how your week has been so far, your Monday, and also as well, those that raced in tiers 2 and below, let us know how you got on in your race as well. Today is the last possible entry for the promotion and relegation. So if anyone in the top 3 of each tier did grab that result, we'll get the final promotion of the season, and then from race 5 it will be all about your accumulated points with the drop round also included, which will determine the tier positioning as we get qualifying underway then. So a 10-minute qualifier ahead of this 28 lap race. It's looking like it is very early in the morning, so perhaps probably the best time to set your quali pace. So we'll see how we get on here. But Mo, what is a typical fast lap time around here?
You know, I think on the soft compounds you can expect to see these guys running in the low 145s. It's very possible we see somebody with a 44, and that is a blistering pace around this track.
Okay. Well, we'll see how these drivers perform, because a lot of these tier 1 drivers, they are you know, if they're not top split in EMEA, they are very, very close, and you will often see them in the top 100 in the time trials for the daily races. So if you're going to see a 45, maybe even quicker, these are certainly the drivers that you're going to see it from. As we got the flashing lights from Levitius, I do wonder whether or not he is listing right now. Levitius was the winner in the last round of the MSA Cup at Road Atlanta, and certainly got his championship underway as well after a pretty poor start. So managed to get the race win, moved himself into second in the championship, and now he's got the small task of trying to reduce that deficit to Richard, which is roughly about 22 points at the minute. So you know, the time is now if Levitius does want to challenge for top honours and steal that championship lead from VSR Richard. So he needs to get on a bit of a winning rampage, as it looks like most of the drivers now are just about starting their hot laps now. So we are going to get on board with JDJ then, VSR JDJ, who is at the front of the pack with VSR Richard actually in the slipstream. So actually we're going to get on board with Richard, because this may prove to be a bit of a strategic plan from the team. Of course, bump drafting is not allowed, but no one says that they can't have their car in front to use as slipstream. And JDJ, knowing that Richard is leading the championship right now, will be looking to probably help out his teammate. So Richard is starting to close in on JDJ as we come through the chute. And thank you very much, Rob. I'm quite proud of myself as well. As we go into the toe, isn't it? Not the boot, but the toe. So
that's right.
Yes, you see, I always get that muddled up, but yes, of course, this is the right hand boot, isn't it? So yeah, so the toe onto the boot now then. For the very first time, he doesn't want to get too close to the back of JDJ, because if JDJ is holding him up, then Richard has nowhere to go here. So I do wonder whether or not JDJ slowed him down slightly. Oh, JDJ's gone wide. That will be a penalty for him. and that could scupper VSR Richard's lap there as he picks up a half-second penalty for cutting track limits. Richard is going to come across the line with a 44.8, so a very, very good time, but Levitius onto pole position by just over 0.2 of a second, producing a 1 minute 44.623. So well, there's our answer, I think, Slow-Mo. We're already in the 44s.
Yeah, and they it looks like the team almost automatically reset to the pit. We got quite a few guys that went in to get some fresh rubber on those tires there and get back out there for another quali lap. So quite possible these guys are going to show me how it's done. I see a 144.6. That's fast. That's very, very fast. There is no doubt about it.
And just remember as well that, of course, as Giller moves to the side there to allow a couple of drivers through. But one thing you definitely got to remember is the fact that this is the early part of qualifying, so a lot of the drivers will be, well, they haven't got too many opportunities to get fast laps in, so a lot of the drivers will be setting the first lap, running another lap, and then going back into the pits and changing for new boots, and you know, having that less fuel in the tank to make that car that little bit lighter, that little bit more sprightly, and have that little bit more acceleration as well. So although I did see a few people reset into the pits, so maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're thinking that is a wasted opportunity. Too many chances of picking up penalties, with maybe only 2 chances to put in hot laps if you were to run an out lap, hot lap, out lap into the pits, and then do it all over again. So maybe that is the thinking of the drivers, Mike.
Yeah, it looks like the VSR team is sticking together quite well here during the qualifying session. Richard had served his penalty, and he's got a bit of a gaggle there behind him. So I wonder if they're trying to stick together and they've got a strategy on how they want to execute this qualifying session. You
could be right there. That's a good spot there. Yeah, we're on board with VSR Richard now. Yeah, currently P2, well, just over 0.2 of a second down as Jensen goes up into, well, I'm going to have a look in a second, but he did go quicker with a 45.6. VSR Richard is on the hot lap now, so Panic Potato in P3. That's a good start from him. 4,000th of a second down on his previous best as he goes a little bit sideways through the bus stop chicane, or some call it the inner loop. But yeah, that would have cost him a little bit. There's Giller currently in P4 at the moment now. He's back in Tier 1 after getting relegated a couple of races ago. So he'll be looking to make an impact in this race, and currently doing a good job there in the P4. He's got a certain teammate behind him in Nitro Merlin in 7th position, and then teammate Fiss in P11, looking for better things in the latter part of this qualifying session. Kennels is in 12th position right now, who again I would imagine he's got more pace than what he's shown so far. He's on the out lap. He should have enough time to set a hot lap, but current fastest so far is a 1 minute 47.6. JDJ, we're not used to seeing him at the back of the pack. He was swarming all over the back of Richard as Richard gives way to JDJ, who must be on a hot lap. Is he? Oh my God, is he just about got away with not cutting track limits there? Currently in 13th position. He's definitely pushing. Oh, he skims that wall, but he goes purple through sector 2. So can he keep up this pace and overtake Levitius for that pole position as we come around the final corner now? And he gets very, very close to that wall. Is he going to set the fastest lap of the session? No, he's not, but does move up into P4 with a 1 minute 44.9. So Levitius's time is safe with Panic Potato in P2 then. Just 2 tenths down on Levitius with a 44.8. And then VSR Richard a further half a tenth down in P3. I think he's got enough time to set another lap, so we'll see if Richard can go quicker. But JDJ looks like he is done with his quali session. P4 for him so far. VSR Giller in 5th position, 1.5 tenths down on JDJ. So yeah, JDJ back into the pit lane. Latari Racing into P6 then, which is 1600th of a second down on Giller in 6th. Puma Racing Neil is just over half a tenth down in 7th position, and then we've got VSR Nitro Merlin in 8th position, which is was it 3,000th of a second separating him to Nitro. From Neil to Nitro Merlin. 9,000 separating Nitro Merlin to TNR's Lightning Lorry, who is making his debut in Tier 1 for race 4 at Watkins Glen, as he comes across the line to go that little bit quicker and move up into 8th position ahead of Nitro Merlin. Jensen has pitted into 10th position. Chaz 11th position. That's a big shock, with Fish down into 12th position. He is on his last flying lap though. Can he improve on his 1 minute 46.0? That is the... No, he's not, because he's going to smash the wall on the outside. That's going to slow him down. He's going to move down to P13 because Kennels has moved up into 11th position right at the death, and it looks like Fish is going to crash into the wall. So that is qualifying.
Wow. No lack of drama, even during the qualifying session. You know, these guys are pushing the track limits to the absolute limits here, and we're going to see a lot more of that once we get on track for the race.
Indeed. We'll be back in a few moments' time. Right, so the qualifying results for round 4 at Watkins Glen sees Levitius start on pole position with a 1 minute 44.601, 2 tenths quicker than his teammate Panic Potato, with an excellent qualifying from him, 1 minute 44.808. They're going to start on row 1. Row 2 is going to be VSR Richard from P3 and VSR JDJ in P4, with VSR Giller in P5 and Latari Racing in P6 starting on row 3. Then we have got Puma Racing Neil in 7th and Lightning Lorry in P8. I do believe they are resetting the lobby to get in another driver. I think so, because I can't get out of the menu. So yes, we will be he needs to reset the grid, so I think it was Wolfie that didn't make quali, so he'll be starting at the back of the grid from P14. But yeah, your thoughts on the quali session there, Mo?
That's exciting. I'm not surprised to see these guys running very, very good laps. We know there's a ton of skill out on track today. And, starting from the back for Wolfie, he's certainly not out of it. A lot can happen out on this Watkins Glen track. Plenty of opportunity for him to make passes. Hopefully his strategy plays out and gives him an opportunity to move himself up out of relegation spots.
Yes, indeed. Well, we have got a long race ahead of us. 28 laps here at Watkins Glen. Anything can happen. I have also been told as well that with the new update we had in GT7 last week, apparently it's changed a few things. I don't know if it's to do with the suspension settings to the Group 3 cars, or they've changed something specific to Watkins Glen, but I have been told that the car is not so good on the curbs, particularly the inner loop or the bus stop chicane, so the drivers will need to be a little bit wary. Even though it's quite a wide chicane to go through, it I think they will have to be very careful. They possibly can't go too wide through there. It's something I don't think I would try to do myself anyway, slow-mo. I think I would be wimping out of that one. But these drivers do have balls of steel, I have to say. So we'll see how they get on. We'll see whether or not this affects them, whether or not that stops them from battling in the chicane, or whether or not they're going to go full send. Who knows? But what are your thoughts in chat as well? As we got new people in chat right now, we've got Andal De Jaeger in here saying, let's go JDJ. Probably butchered your name there, but welcome to the chat. We've got TNR Captain Slow in here. We have got Llewellyn, I think that's right. Welcome. We've got Kendall in here as well. Yeah, we are definitely international flair, I have to say. Yes, I am accompanied by the American, which is slow-mo, yeah, very fitting for this location, of course. A very American circuit, a lot of American names to corners as well. That's something I've noticed with American circuit slow-mo. They don't leave too much to the imagination.
No, maybe not as creative as we could have been there. You know, you got the boot, the toe, the so they're pretty standard, but you know, we know where those drivers are with those names, and you know, the boot will kick you, the toe will kick you. You know, there's a tricky way to enter and exit some of these turns. Obviously, we're going to see these guys battling side by side. I know you mentioned it's not recommended to go side by side through the bus stop there. I would not be surprised to see these guys fighting and clawing for position, doing just that. So this car will absolutely get unsettled as you go across those curbs, touching the grass. All of that is bad news for this Peugeot.
Indeed. Right, we are going to get the race underway very shortly. So drivers are lined up on the grid as we await the 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go to start round 4 at Watkins Glen in the Peugeot RCZ Group 3 cars, and Levitius leads us away ahead of Panic Potato in 2nd position, VSR Richard in 3rd, of JDJ into 4th position, Galava Bryn into 5th, Latari Racing in 6th, and Puma Racing Neil in 7th, Lightning Lorry in 8th position with Nitro Merling in P9. We got Chaz up 1 position into 10th position, Jensen down into P11, Kennels P12, and then we got VSR Fish in 13th, and Wolfie at the back of the grid in P14. Let's look at the chicane now. Are they going to go side by side? No, they're not. They're going to go and form a train through the chicane right now, and it looks like they are a line astern. Oh, Wolfie! Wolfie, is that Wolfie? No, it's Fish. No, it is Wolfie. Wolfie has gone wide. Has he? Had a disconnect. I do believe that may have been a disconnect then. I was going to show the replay, but it's not worth it now. That was literally lag, so I don't know if Wolfie having a few internet issues today, but he won't be able to obviously continue on, and the race is underway now, so Wolfie may well be down into Tier 2 for next week, which is such a shame, Slow-Mo.
It is. That's unfortunate. You know, you want to just get through that first lap without incident, and unfortunately, Wolfie wasn't lucky enough to have that happen here. And sometimes those things happen. Engine failure, you know, all that plays into a race.
It does indeed. It does indeed. Well, so all we can do is update you on the grid right now. So we got Levitius leading ahead of Panic Potato in 2nd position, who's actually keeping toe with Levitius right now, both on the medium tyres. VSR Richard also starting from the medium tyres with his teammate JDJ in 4th position, also on the medium tyres. So they are definitely line astern as we've already started lap 2 of 28. Gilla in P5. Looks like JDJ's got a good run on VSR Richard. Is he going to go for a move? We we can also see Panic Potato as well. He thought about it, but I think he's going to tuck in just behind to remain in second position. VSR Richard is going to stay in front of JDJ, who is in third, and JDJ in fourth, with Giller in tow in fifth position. Latari Racing with a little bit of a gap now in P6, and he's got a certain Puma Racing Neil in for company in seventh position, with Lightning Lorry getting a very good start to this race in P8, holding off Nitro Merlin for that P8, with Nitro Merlin down into P9, as it looks like Puma Racing Neil thought of making a move on Latari Racing. Oh, it goes a little bit wiggly out of the exit on the camber corner of the toe, and lost a little bit of time and a bit of pace there, but Lightning Lorry not going for the move on Puma Racing Neil, deciding to hold on to that 8th position, as we got VSR Nitro Merlin in 9th position, all over the back bumper of Lightning Lorry, and it looks like we got about a four-way battle for the fight for 6th position there. Chaz also to the back of Nitro Merlin in P10, Jensen also to the back of Chaz, so it's very, very tight between all the drivers right now. No movers or shakers of what I can see right now. Kennels in P12 and Fish at the back of the grid, 1.4 seconds down, as Jensen looked to size up an opportunity on Chaz, but thought better of it. But it looks like all the drivers starting on the medium tyre so far, Mo.
That's correct, yes. Every driver on track right now is on mediums. Little shocked to see there was no mix-up. Sometimes the guys at the front will go with the softer compounds. They didn't choose to do that, so everybody went mediums.
Yeah, indeed. So I think, have we got movers in the background? It looks like it's Nitro Merlin on a Lightning Lorry around the outside into the chicane. Lightning Lorry's going to cut back at him, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it stick. Nitro Merlin, in fact, through, and also Chaz. So lost out 2 positions, 3 positions, because Jensen comes through into 10th position. So a bit of a domino effect for Lightning Lorry, as he lost many a position, comes fighting back. Jensen down 1 position as Kennels takes full advantage up the inside into P11. Jensen's going to have the inside for the toe there, and Jensen back up into P11. So we will have a look on the replay very shortly, but a swinging roundabouts there, I think, Mo.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to get caught deep in that turn. It really gives the guys behind you an opportunity to drive right by, and that's unfortunately what we saw happen there. He just ran a little bit deep, and he had a train of folks just pass it.
Indeed, yeah. You cannot take your eyes off of this race for a second. I will quickly have a look on the replay if it is indeed possible. So let's have a look on Nitro Merlin. So just caught the back end of that shot as Nitro Merlin took a different line in. I didn't expect him to go for that. And then Lightning Lorry, of course, offline, and around the outside he went, and Jensen, Chaz took full advantage down the inside, lost the position. Lightning Lorry tried to fight back, but was, well, in fact, he did move back up into 10th position, but lost out to Chaz. That was quite a mouthful in not much time, to be honest. So I have a feeling we have to keep on board with this battle, but it is as close as you like throughout the grid here. We are talking just, what is it, 7.5 seconds separating the whole grid. So very, very close between all the drivers. But let's get back on board with the top of the grid then. Levitius still leading Panic Potato by about 3-4 tenths of a second right now. VSR Richards still keeping in tow, but definitely something that we need to keep an eye on is their tyre life and how much they're fuel saving. So VSR Richard currently 3rd position. We're looking at the fuel consumption right now. It looks like Levitius and Panic Potato have used more fuel than VSR Richard, but JDJ also following suit with Richard with a little bit more fuel there, and good tyre tyre saving, I'd have to say, with VSR Giller also in tow as well, with a little bit less fuel, but still roughly the same kind of fuel, with Latari Racing also doing well in P6 and Puma Racing Nil P7. So very, very similar in strategies, I think, here, Mo. Do you think that the strategies could be the two-stopper here?
I think it could. You know, I mean, to stretch your tires out for the whole 28 laps between two sets of tires is a bit of a stretch. It can be done, but I would be afraid you would lose quite a bit of time once you get to the end of your set of tires, just not being able to keep up with the pace of everybody else on track. So I do agree.
Well, something very interesting here, Mo. So Jensen pitted at the end of lap 4. So I'm pretty sure he was on the medium tyres. Did he make a mistake? Or is he going to do a ridiculously long stint on the hard tyres? Because that is what he's chosen. So the deficit is 30 seconds to nearest rival Kennels in 12th position. It looks like Fish has made up 2 positions then, who was originally P13, but starting to make good progress and starting to catch the likes of Lightning Lorry in the top 10. But yeah, Kennels, I'm not sure if he made a mistake or not, but yeah, we did miss that though. Fish making the move on Kennels, and very, very unusual for Jensen as he picks up a 3-second penalty for cutting the pit lane lines. So his race perhaps not going the best. To be honest, I'm kind of struggling to think what he's done here, because that was extremely early to come into the pits. So does anyone know whether he had damage? Was it Tuzum? Okay, so confirmed by Tuzum. Apparently he did hold a bit of damage, so I don't know whether or not he clattered a fencing or what. I really don't know, but it looks like he took matters into his own hands to change up the strategy, and now he's going to do a long stint on the hard tyres. In terms of the fuel tank, I do believe if you was pushing, you can get roughly about 14 to 15 laps of fuel if you're saving fuel. Is Paddy Potato thought about going up the inside of Levitius. Levitius was thinking, don't you dare, and holds him off for the time being as we go through the bus stop chicane for the 6th time of asking. And yeah, Levitius just holding that half a second lead over Paddy Potato, with VSR Richard in P3, a further 8 tenths down in P3, and just ahead of teammate JDJ and Giller for P4 and P5 respectively. The Latari Racing also on the back end of this train in 6th position, and Neil looking to also try to stay in that slipstream, just a second down on Latari Racing in P7. Nitro Merlin is holding firm in 8th position, but he does have a certain Chaz and Lightning Lorry of a TNR, of course, for company. So very, very tight at the moment, but it's looking like for the majority of the drivers, they are going to do their opening stint on the medium tyres. As Kennels has picked up a half a second penalty for cutting track limits, so it does look like VSR Fish will be looking to take full advantage here as he holds on to the back bumper of Kennels, who may become a cropper down the straight and maybe take that position away from Kennels, Mo.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he ended up with that track limit penalty. He's absolutely going to lose a position during serving that, but looks like he is positioning himself to try to keep himself out of relegation zone and holding that P11. It looks like there's going to be a pretty good battle here at the back of the pack.
Yes, indeed. Always Kennels went a little bit wiggly out of turn 1. That curb can be a cruel mistress, and yeah, certainly was hanging on for dear life as he now tries to hold off VSR Fish. I do feel like he's going to be a sitting duck as Fish goes up the inside of him to move up into 11th position. Times his braking to perfection as well, and yeah, didn't lose any time there. Slingshots his way way past Kennels. Kennels sitting back in 12th, but will be taking that half a second penalty. Jensen is meanwhile 38 seconds behind in 13th, but of course we know he's on the hard tyres. We'll see how that works out for him later on in the race. But yeah, back up to the top of the grid then. Levitius still holding off Panic Potato by 0.3 of a second. VSR Richard still in that slipstream, but saving fuel. And saving quite a bit more fuel actually than the two TNR drivers in the top two. Or as it looked like Paddy Potato went a little bit wide and got a wheel on the grass there. That is certainly something you don't want to do at the Glen with the barriers being very, very close to you. Certainly something that I think could have been a brown pants moment for me. But yeah, Richard, currently in tow of Paddy Potato. That would have helped his cause then as he gets a little bit closer to the TNR driver. As they, oh my god, they literally use every inch of the circuit, and I think Richard just about got away with it without getting that half a second penalty. But yeah, JDJ in 4th position, just behind him. Gillett in P5, Latari Racing in P6, who's having a really good race here, and he's really just he's got that kind of the best view, really, isn't it, from P6, where he, not only is he trying to keep the pressure on Giller, but also he's got that kind of view to size up an opportunity should a door be open for him, Mo.
Yeah, Flawed, and while we were looking at that, Nitro Merlin made a nice pass on Lightning Lorry on Chaz going into the bus stop. He's now got himself up to P8. It's interesting to see the front 7 have kind of gotten a little bit away from the back half of the pack here, but these guys are definitely trying to close that gap.
Okay, I'll see if I did catch the replay in time. Although it looks like Chaz is sizing up an opportunity here, so we'll just stay on board with Chaz for the time being. But does look like he's pretty close to the back of Nitro Merlin. Perhaps not happy that Nitro Merlin caught Chaz napping there. Chaz, I know, is a very competitive driver and he won't take that lightly, but it looks like Nitro Merlin at this stage of the race having a very good pace though, able to hold off Chaz. So let's have a look on the replay and see if we did actually catch that or not. And we just caught the back end of that shot there. So yeah, unfortunately we did miss it, but not to worry, not to worry. So yeah, making good progress then. Nitro Merlin up into 6th position then. Very consistent lap times from him. Current fastest time is a 1 minute 46.1, which is about 0.6 off of the fastest lap time set by Panic Potato, currently holding on to 2nd position. But it is starting to bunch up at the top of the grid though, because we are talking about 2 seconds separating the top 5, or in fact top 6. So Neil trying to stay in tow to the whole train in front of him at 0.8 down in P7. But yeah, that is how tight it is. 2 seconds on lap 9 of 28. 2 seconds separating the top 6, Mo.
That's a tight. It's a tight grid. We knew it was going to be stiff competition for these guys. And again, with this being the last week for relegations, nobody wants to be at the back of the pack. They all want to be mid-pack or front pack. Obviously, everybody wants to win. These guys are not out here to give a race away.
Yes, indeed. And where it's going to count, possibly, could be in the pit lane here, because we already noticed that VSR Richard and pretty much the whole VSR team actually doing a fair chunk of fuel saving. So maybe looking to leapfrog the likes of TNR, Levitis and Panic Potato in the pits. Now, obviously, looking at Panic Potato has got damage though. Panic Potato has got front aero damage. So did he pick up damage from collecting a few too many walls? Because we did notice that he went wide on a couple of occasions, although it would signify that it's coming from his left-hand side of the car. So definitely something we've missed there. But yeah, he's going to be losing time. So the gap is now 0.9 of a second. So this is where he's going to be losing time to the drivers behind him. Yeah, the gap is closing. Will Richard be able to sneak in front of him by the time we get into the the chicane, he's not. He's not. He's going to remain 0.3 of a second behind. I feel like this is the opportunity now where VSR should be pushing a little bit more. Perhaps not knowing that Potato has got front aero damage, but you can see visibly now that the gap between himself and Levitius, where it was roughly about 0.2 of a second, it is now more like a second now. And you can see with the delta as well, VSR Richard now 1.5 seconds down on Levitius. So he will be seeing this and maybe thinking we will need to take evasive.
P6, Puma Racing Neil coming up through the toe there. He might have gotten into contact with.
It was Latari Racing. Latari Racing. Let's have a look.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you.
So side by side, Puma Racing Neil, Latari Racing. Oh, he just taps the side of him. Latari Racing couldn't do anything. He tried to save it, but into the barrier he goes. I'm going to see if we can get a better on board there. Yeah, maybe a little bit unlucky from Neil's behalf, but nevertheless there was contact. Oh, we got side by side though. We got 3 wide. And VSR JDJ down the inside gets in front of VSR Richard, and Richard ahead of Panic Potato. So a 2-for-1 there. Panic Potato will come fighting back, but of course we already know he's got damage, so he's going to be losing a fair chunk of speed down the straight now. Well, kind of straight, flat out section. It looks like Giller is swarming all over the back of Panic Potato. Panic Potato is going to go very defensive, going into the chicane. Giller is going to be brave, and JDJ lets Richard through, and Giller does sneak in front of Panic Potato to move up into P4. Wow, that was brave stuff. I think the drivers probably knew that Potato was suffering, but even so, that was very, very tight, Mo.
It was, and while we were watching that, Chaz made a really nice move on Nitro Merlin, going into the bus stop, got himself another position, closed the door, and has actually started to pull away just ever so slightly to try and increase his gap there between him and P8.
Right, okay. Well, unfortunately, I have got a different replay saved, so I couldn't get the onboard there. Maybe it would have been a little bit too late for me to get the replay, but yeah, certainly I did want to see the. Neil's coming fighting back on Giller. And in fact, Neil has made the move on Panic Potato. So, yeah, Panic Potato really suffering now in the closing stages of this first stint. Of course, this is the kind of window that the drivers will be thinking about making their pit stops. And it looks like quite a lot. Oh, Giller, he might have got a 3 second. I think JDJ might have just got a 3 second there as well. Did see a tyre touching the line there, as it's Levitius, Richard, JDJ, Giller, Panic Potato, Chaz, Nitro Merlin, Lightning Lorry, all in the pit lane on the medium tyres. Neil has decided to go one further to hold on to their medium tyres. We'll see if he is losing time or not, but let's try and get on board with the replay from earlier. So this was Neil and Latari Racing on the outside, and to be honest, it does look like Latari Racing was kind of turning into him. Neil couldn't have really moved any further over to the right hand side, so you could call it a racing incident. I don't think it's any fault of Neil, as he has now got a 18-second lead over VSR Richard. Then of course they've all made their pit stops. VSR Richard has made the jump on Levitius then, and this is what I was saying, VSR Richard saving that fuel, and it looks like they're all going on the soft tyres for this second stint. So the two-stopper is definitely on. They'll be running these soft tyres for probably about 5 to 6 laps. We'll see if they can get any more out of these tyres, but once they get to that heavy degradation zone, that is where they'll be losing a lot of time. But yeah, VSR Richard makes the jump on Levitius. He moves down into third position. JDJ so Levitius is sandwiched between the two VSR drivers, in Richard in second and JDJ in fourth position. So they'll be looking to try and work as a team really here to keep Levitius trapped in third position. I think this is definitely a very strange position I think Levitius finds himself in, but yeah, definitely something that perhaps he couldn't envisage, but we're not even halfway through this race, so a lot can happen at any point of the race, as we've got Giller in P5. Let's just stay on board with this at the moment. Richard inherits the race lead then ahead of Levitius and JDJ. I think we are going to have to stay on board with this group here, because they are so close here. So we'll get on board with JDJ, who is in tow to Levitius. Levitius is going to have a really good run on VSR. Richard, is he going to send it into the chicane? JDJ thought about it as well, as he got the double slip, and Levitius thinking better of it, holding his position in second position. JDJ also not doing anything silly there and holding his position into third position then. Giller up into fourth position, 4 seconds down on the trio. Panic Potato in P5, who is well, he's in no man's land at the moment, just in front of his teammate Chaz, who's also made the jump on Pure Racing. Neil in 7th position, and Nitro Merlin in P8, so very close here. Neil and Nitro Merlin working in tandem to try and climb up positions, but Chaz is the big mover so far, Slow-Mo.
Yeah, and at the back of the pack, there's 3 folks. There's Kennels, there's Viz, and then Latari Racing. Fish went ahead and took that spot from Latari, put himself into 11th place. These guys are battling at the back of the pack, and there is a tire difference between them as well, as you've got Kennels on the medium and the other 2 drivers both on soft, trying to hunt him down at the moment.
Yes, indeed, and yeah, I'm trying to keep on board with both battles here. There's something happened to the top 3, because Richard has... Oh, sorry. No, it's because Levitius is all over the back bumper that I couldn't see his arrow on the map there. But no, they are as close as they can be. There was a slight bump from JDJ on Levitius's back bumper, but that will not be deemed... Well, I don't think it will be deemed as a bump draft there. But yeah, they are as close as they can be. Is Levitius going to send one? Is he going to be brave enough to launch himself either down the inside or on the outside? Looks like he's going to hold off and save a little bit of fuel maybe, yeah, just thinking maybe not safe enough to either go too wide or to cause an accident. So for the time being, Levitius holding off JDJ then in second position, with Richie just pulling away for the time being. So we'll quickly nip down the positions quickly just to...
P12, they're about to go into the bus stop here, and it looked like they were going to do it too wide. They thought smarter of it. Latari had backed out. Oh, and now Fish going up the inside. Latari's going to follow suit, and they were going to leave Kennels in their dust as they move up into the next section of the track here, making this smooth left-hander.
Yeah, and that was a really strange one. It almost looked like Kennels just allowed them through. Let's have a look on the replay now. So there was Kennels. Oh, it goes a little bit sideways though, as Fish does close the deficit, and Kennels not able to save the car as he went wide, picks up a 1 second penalty as well, and there came Latari Racing down the inside, who got better traction and more speed to take that position away from him. So Kennels loses 2 positions in 1 corner.
And you just don't know where to look. There is so much going on throughout this race here right now.
Yes.
We're 15 laps in. The top 3 are jammed together. And then you've got a big cluster of folks in mid-pack as well.
Well, this is what racing is all about in the SMA. And you're starting to find out now, Mo, that you cannot blink when it comes to the SMA races or this MSA Cup, because yeah, literally we are missing quite a few bits of action as we're trying to keep on track of about 3 packs of close battles here. So yeah, definitely a fight between 3 positions, and of course Kennels in the drop zone right now in P12, so not looking good for him, and Fish and Latari Racing looking to pull away and not find themselves in that dreaded drop zone. We'll get back on board with the top 3, because they are still line astern. Richard 0.3 of a second in front of Levitius in second position, and JDJ in third position. They are also the top 3 in the championship. and it's quite ironic actually that Richard is leading the championship ahead of Levitius and ahead of JDJ. Actually JDJ's in 4th, but I mean it's close enough, right? Wolfie's not in the race now, so but yeah.
Flawed, Chaz is making a move from P6 into P5 right past Panic Potato as he goes into this last little group of turns here. Panic Potato's kind of eyeing that spot up. I think he wants that spot back, but he might not get it back for just a few laps. We'll see.
Okay. Well, we're on board with Chaz now, viewing from his rear bumper. Or his rear spoiler, should I say, and Panic Potato is looking to hold off Neil. Neil is trying to size up an opportunity. He's just deciding whether or not he should send it down the inside or not. Looks like Panic Potato is going to have a sigh of relief as he holds on to that 6th position. I think Puma Racing Neil thinking of the longer game here as he does slingshot his way past Panic Potato, using that slipstream to full advantage, and Puma Racing Neil up into P6, Panic Potato down into P7. He has got a certain Nitro Merlin for company in P8 as well. We've already seen that Nitro Merlin is a sneaky dog, but decides against it for the time being, as Neil didn't get the best of exits. Panic Potato's got a good run on him as we come through the chute now. Or is this the chute? This is the chute, isn't it? Yeah, just going into the chute now as Pure Racing Neil holds that inside line. Panic Potato perhaps going to have to be a little bit more patient as we come up into the toe now. Oh my God, nearly contact between the two drivers. Panic Potato goes deep, and Nitro Merlin up the inside to move up into 7th position. He still gives him the space. They're going to be side by side as we come down the back stretch now. Panic Potato looks like he's got the overspeed though, and actually, is he going to hold it around the outside? They're going to be side by side again, and Nitro Merlin forces his way through as it looks like Pure Racing Neil has just got past Chaz as well into the top 5. I'm going to save that replay. I had the other replay saved, but now we've got this footage. So, I do need to see how Neil managed to get past Chaz because I was looking behind him. So, let's have a look on the replay quickly. So there was Neil on Chaz looking behind as well. So Neil had the inside line to Chaz. I'm not sure if Chaz made a mistake previously, but he managed to take that position quite easily in the end. Chaz down to P6, and then we saw both of the VSR and TNR drivers in the background going side by side, and Nitro Merlin just able to hold off Panic Potato for that 7th position. So yes, it never stops here in the SMA, and certainly that was evidence there as Puma Racing Neil making up good positions then into the top 5. Chaz, so it looks like they're all on soft tyres. Neil has got better tyres than Chaz right now. It looks like Chaz has really burned them soft tyres out, and the light is flashing, meaning that he is lower on fuel as well. So Nitro Merlin with a little bit more fuel and similar tyre wear, to be honest, and Lightning Lorry not able to keep up with the 3 drivers in front, but currently in 8th position, in a good position to be fair. Let's get back on board with VSR Richard, and he's still got Levitius all over him. So Richard 1.5 tenths over Levitius, and Levitius is not giving up here. He is applying all that pressure, but Richard is soaking it up right now. And Levitius, I mean, he's an experienced pro. He is the reigning champion as well as Levitius sends it. Oh no! Okay, Richard into the pit lane. That is why we got excited for nothing there, Mo.
We did, and it looks like Puma Racing Neil ended up with a track limit penalty there, got himself a half second, while Chaz is also going to make his way into the pits to get a fresh set of rubber and some more fuel. Here's that 2-stop we talked about playing out. These guys are definitely going to come in and get themselves a new set of tires, get back on track, and try and close this out here.
Yes, indeed. With Latari Racing coming in as well from 9th position, Kennels has decided to carry on. He's on the medium tyres here. So instead of going for the soft tyres, he's on the medium tyres, which means that he'll be on the soft stint come the end of the race. So he looks like he does... Oh, has he gone wide though? I think he may have just gone wide there. That may be cutting track limits. think he just about got away with it. But JDJ then comes out in front of Richard then into P5. Richard P6, Giller in P7. And Nitro Merlin P8, Chaz P9, Panic Potato P10. So this is all provisional, of course, because we got Levitius currently leading the race, 9 seconds adrift. Is Puma Racing Neil in second position with that half a second penalty, so he'll be serving that now. Lightning Lorry will be closing that gap. 3.2 seconds is the gap. So actually Lightning Lorry doing very well in his debut race here in the MSA Cup. But yeah, Levitius, I would imagine, will be coming in at the end of this lap. He has extended that gap from 9 to 10.5 seconds to Puma Racing Neil, of course, serving that penalty. So Lightning Lorry has closed the gap down to 2 seconds between the two drivers. But yeah, Levitius into the pits from the race lead with 8% of fuel, and to change off of them soft tyres, I think, onto medium tyres as Puma Racing Neil also comes in. Lightning Lorry also comes in. Kennels, I would imagine he's going to stay out. So VSR Richard not too far behind Kennels in P5 with JDJ in P6. So Richard's made the move on JDJ then. So I'm not sure if JDJ made a mistake. Let's keep an eye on these drivers here, because Levitius will be coming out of the pits now with Neil and Kennels and all them drivers. So there's Levitius now coming out of the pit lane. And where is Richard? Richard is coming, Kennels and Richard coming out of turn 1. So Levitius has gained an advantage then to about 2 seconds, although the drivers behind will have the overspeed. So Kennels is leading the train behind him. Kennels up into P2. 1.8 seconds is the lead for Levitius then as we go into the chicane for the 19th time. But yes, we know that Levitius on the medium tyres now. He'll be pushing to the very end. Richard has moved past Kennels and JDJ as well. So it looks like Kennels did just allow them through then with... Oh, he's got damage. He's got damage there. Did he hit something there?
You know, Flawed, I didn't see him hit anything, but it happens very quickly here. A lot of times you can touch a wall and be back on track without too much incident. So for him to have damage and still be holding on to 4th place, he's doing really well. I'm actually watching closely for the battle for P7 and P6. Chaz has been trying to find a door to get past Nitro Merlin. It looks like he might actually try and make a move up the inside. Here we go. As he gets through there and is able to shut the door, he's going to close that as they get into this last section of the track and try and get us across the start-finish for our 19th lap here in P6.
Wow, okay, yeah, it's as close as it can be between the 3 drivers then, and it was good that you caught that just in time there, so I was able to get on board and see the overtake from Chaz or TNR Papaya Racer, that is. So it's VSR Nitro Merlin defending from Panic Potato, and it's looking like Potato's got a good run. He's got on the brakes a little bit later, and he's timed it to perfection to move up into 7th position. So Nitro Merlin is going to tuck back in 8th position, but we got Pure Racing Neil in 9th position, and he would have seen it all unfold in front of him. So Neil looks like he's got a really good run here on Nitro Merlin. Looks like we're going to have side-by-side TNR drivers. Panic Potato on the inside. Chaz is going to let him through. Nitro Merlin is going to hold off Pure Racing Neil, and actually Chaz really backed off there and backed off too much because Nitro Merlin has come through and moved up into 7th position.
What a move. That was a great move. It's not easy to get a move done there through the bus stop, and he made that look easy.
Did indeed, but Pure Racing Neil again trying to come fighting back here. Chaz looked like he went a little bit deep into the chute, but Pure Racing Neil didn't make the best of it, really. I really thought he was going to take full advantage, but backed off. And he's going to stay in 9th position. Let's see if we can get the onboard of that replay. There we go. And Yeah, Chaz just backed off way too much, then caught the curb. That made the car unstable, and Pure Racing Neil had nowhere to go as he pretty much clattered the back bumper of Chaz, but there was Nitro Merlin moving up into 7th position. And they are... oh, sorry, go on, Mo.
I was just going to say, in the meantime, that battle for P7, 8, and 9 has not let up. These guys are all over each other. Puma was taking a look through Chaz's bumper there and couldn't quite get anything done. It looks like he backed up just a touch as they are gearing up to come across the start-finish line for our 21st lap.
I know, it's gone by so quickly, isn't it? 21 laps down, 7 to go, or 8 to go if you include this one. And yeah, all the drivers will be on their final stint. We did just see Kennels come into the pit lane from, I think it was 6th position at the time. So he would have gone on to new boots, he would have gone on to the soft tyres. Panic Potato still holding firm in 5th position, but Nitro Merlin looking very competitive right now in 6th position, just 0.4 of a second down on him in 6th position. Chaz is 1.9 seconds adrift, and he has got Neil for company, so there is just a 2.5 deficit between P7 and P8. Lightning Lorry is cut adrift of the pair, so it looks like Chaz and Neil will be battling for position in the closing stages of this race. So this race is definitely not done, and yeah, certainly right now it looks like quite a number of positions are up for grabs. Let's get back on board with the race leaders though. Levitius has got a 2.9 second lead over Richards. So Levitius in prime position right now, which I didn't see it coming, but Levitius, the king of strategies here, and he's really taken full advantage, not put a foot wrong, and certainly something we're going to find interesting when we interview the top 3 drivers. VSR Richard is just holding firm in 2nd position ahead of his teammate. We know in the last race that the 2 drivers did battle in what is a very famous ending to an MSA Cup race, and certainly an SMA race, where you couldn't call it on the last lap, and in the end Richard took that 2nd position mainly because JDJ ran wide, but it was certainly great to see the 2 teammates fighting it out tooth and nail for that position, and it looks like we got something similar going on in this race, Slow-Mo.
It does, it does. These guys are running very close, and I tell you what, now is the time in the race where you've got to be cautious. One mistake sends you off track. Next thing you know, you may be putting yourself into that relegation zone, so you've got to keep yourself in line, keep yourself in focus, and do not let up off the driver in front of you.
Indeed, indeed. So yeah, VSR Richard, of course, leading the championship at the moment, but JDJ not too far behind in that championship. It's definitely going to be interesting whether or not they really will be taking the fight to each other. But right now they kind of want to stay in tow and not let Levitius just run away with the race victory. They're not in slipstream range. Levitius will know he just needs to be consistent. He's running 1 minute 46. Sorry, that is Richard. He is running 1 minute 46s. Low 46s, that is. Richard, kind of similar to be honest, but Levitius of course made the jump in the pit lane, so JDJ is going to be in tow with him. JDJ has got a little bit more fuel. This could play to his advantage in the latter stages of this race. There is a gap between JDJ and Giller for P3 and P4. It's 7.4 seconds the gap now with Giller. He's got Panic Potato and Nitro Merlin, so let's get on board with Nitro Merlin then, as he looks to try to steal that top 5 position away from Panic Potato. Panic Potato has got the slipstream to VSR Giller, so it looks like he is going to hold on to that 5th position, but he knows he can't put a foot wrong, because if he does, there will be Nitro Merlin to take full advantage. But Panic Potato looking for better things, because he has got Giller in his sights and he'll be looking to maybe steal that 4th position. So Giller perhaps trying to be a little bit strategic here, trying to make his car as wide as possible to not make it easy for Panic Potato. But Panic Potato, if he does battle too much and doesn't make the move on Giller, Nitro Merlin could come into the frame and take that position, maybe even take 2 positions, who knows. But Nitro Merlin certainly got the best view of the 3 drivers, and I certainly know where I'd rather be, Mo.
Oh, 100%. I'd much rather be looking back at my competition than looking forward at them. Although sometimes it is a little intimidating to look back and see nothing but the car behind you in your rear view, and that may be what he's seeing right now.
Yes, indeed. And another person looking in his rear view mirror will be Pure Racing Neil, who's got Chaz for company. They have been kind of battling for quite a number of laps now, but yeah, Chaz lurking in the background, and well, Neil again will know that he needs to cover all bases if he is going to hold on to that 7th position. Looks like Chaz got a very good exit out of the 90-degree turn 1, and looks like as we come up the hill on this flat out section, is Neil going to defend that inside line? It doesn't look like it, but then Chaz not taking that slipstream, which really surprised me actually. Really thought Chaz was going to use that slipstream power past Neil. It's definitely a cat and mouse game, I think, because I think a lot of the drivers not 100% sure if they've got enough fuel in the tank. Oh, as Neil goes wide, is that a half-a-second penalty? I think he may. Yes, there you go. Half-second penalty for going wide out of the inner loop, and now we've got a 3-way battle. Now it is as close as you like. As I thought Nitro Merlin was going to sneak down the inside of Panic Potato, but backed out at the last minute. Giller is now defending for his life as Panic Potato looks to maybe go around the outside. They're going to be side by side. Looks like Giller is going to cover it up for the time being, but that is all that's going to do is introduce Nitro Merlin into this fight as Giller tries to make his car as wide as possible. That is certainly going to be losing them time, and Nitro Merlin now will be licking his lips and thinking, okay, how are we going to get past the 2 here?
Yeah, and Flawed, looking back towards the back of the pack, there is a battle here for P10 right now between Viz and also Latari Racing. Latari Racing looks like he's got a slight tire advantage. The fuel looks to be pretty evenly matched. The car weight's probably about the same, but Latari has just been all over his bumper for the last couple turns here. He's peeking to the inside to see if he can make it happen here on the straight. I don't know if he's going to get it done before the 90, but it looks like he is trying.
Yeah, it does look like he's trying because he has got that inside line. There will be nowhere for Fish to go. And there's Latari Racing that sweeps down the inside to take that 10th position away from VSR Fish, who moves down to P11. He has got a comfortable gap to Kennels, but I did notice actually that the gap has come down from 5 seconds to 4.1 seconds. Kennels is on the soft tyres. It just remains to be seen whether or not his tyres, or how quickly his tyres will fall off a cliff. Currently 4.2 seconds, but we're in that kind of mid-range degradation for the tyres, where this is where the mediums start coming into play here. But of course, dying medium tyres in front of him, so right now Kennels should still be faster. It's 3.7 seconds between the 2 drivers, so that deficit is coming down, and I do wonder whether or not the battling between Latari Racing and Fish, whether or not they know that they could come under increasing pressure from Kennels, who's looking to stay in the hunt for Tier 1 for next week.
Yeah, and Flawed, while we're watching that, another thing to take note of is look at Team VSR. They are 2, 3, 5, and 6. So they are crowding that the top of the leaderboard up here, and it looks like they are going to try and get themselves in a little better position here for the end of the race with just a few laps to go. It is amazing how fast this race has gone today. It
is indeed, and something we just missed here, Mo. When you took me on board to the back of the grid there, we missed out on the battle for P4 then. So Panic Potato has moved past Giller and Nitro Merlin as well. So Giller down into P6, and the deficit is 1.4 seconds to Chaz in P7, who has also managed to leapfrog his way past Puma Racing Neil into that 7th position, Neil down into 8th position. So we've been missing out a lot here, Mo, and this is how quickly things do change. So we do apologise there, guys. Sometimes it runs for you, sometimes it doesn't, and unfortunately that time it caught us out, although we did see one overtake. Yeah, Fish 6 steps down on Latari Racing then, so still keeping in tow. The gap between the two drivers is 3 seconds between Fish and Kennels, and if Kennels does remain in this position, he will be relegated to Tier 2 for next week. This is the last week for the promotion and relegation, so Kennels will want to stay in the division. Oh, he's picked up a half-second penalty. Oh, just when you thought, okay, he is starting to close that deficit to Fish, picks up that half-second penalty. He's going to serve it on this lap, on lap number 26 of 28. I think that's where his chances have gone, Mo.
I would agree with you. That's an unfortunate time to have that penalty. It's so hard to run clean on this track and keep yourself out of trouble, and that's you just got himself just ever so slightly into trouble. It's going to cost him dearly.
Yeah, indeed. And just to reiterate as well from the SMA in chat, if you haven't already hit that like button, please smash it for us. The more likes we get, the more that our content spreads across the platform, so any more love will be much appreciated. We've got a huge 65 people that are watching. Yes, Mo.
Flawed, the battle for P4 going into the bus stop. It looks like Nitro Merlin was trying to find just a spot to get through. Panic Potato couldn't quite do it. Gila is closing the gap on them. I know those VSR teammates are trying to work themselves together to get past Panic Potato to end this race here with just a few laps left.
Yes, indeed, and that's how quickly it goes. I'm trying to respond to chat, and it's all kicking off on circuit. Yeah, there's still 2 battles going on. The fight for P4, well said there, Slow-Mo. Panic Potato does head that train on the penultimate lap of round 4 at Watkins Glen. So Gilla's still in the fight here. Will he fight his teammate? That is the question, who is just in front of him in P5, Panic Potato P4, as I said. And then we've also got Chaz and Puma Racing Neil also very close in tandem of each other. So something cool. Chaz went a little bit wide. That would have cost him a little bit of time. But this is where the race starts to pick up in intensity. And will they be able to hold their nerve or not? Panic Potato looks like didn't get the best of X's. Nitro Merlin looks like he did. And Panic Potato is going to defend that inside line from Nitro Merlin. Is he going to hold him off? Is Nitro Merlin going to go for the old switcheroo? I don't know. As I nearly lose my breath there, Nitro Merlin gets a really good run on him, and he's going to be powered up the straight from Panic Potato. Looks like he's going to have the overspeed as we approach the chicane for the very last time. Is Nitro Merlin going to be able to get past him or not? They are side by side as we come up to the chicane. Panic Potato's going to have the inside line, gets later on the brakes, and there's Gilla down the inside of Nitro Merlin to move up into P5. He'll be challenging Panic Potato for that 4th position. Let's look on board with Levicius. Okay, Levicius got a comfortable lead. JDJ has got a 4/10 of a second lead over Richard to hold on to 2nd position. In fact, he's made the move on Richard to move up into 2nd position. Richard down into P3. Panic Potato will be fighting tooth and nail to hold on to that 4th position, ahead of Gilla, who made that sensational move on his teammate Nitro Merlin, who moved down into P6. Chaz is going to hold on to P7 for the time being, but he has got Pure Racing Neil, who is just in front of him as we get back on board with Levicius, who has performed miracles with this strategy, and he is going to come across the line for Team TNR to grab his 2nd race win in a row and really close that deficit to VSR Richard. So congratulations Congratulations to Levitius on the race win on round 4 at Watkins Glen, as JDJ looks to hold off Richard, to hold on to that second position, and yes he does. VSR Richard's going to come across the line in third position. Paddy Potato just in front of VSR Giller, and Paddy Potato is going to hold on to that position in P4. Giller in P5, P6 goes to Chaz, and Nitro Merlin down into P7 with a nil in P8. Can we see a replay of that or not? I'm not 100% sure. We may have just missed that. We're definitely not getting much luck here. There's Nitro Merlin there, who... yeah, but look how tight that was. Look how tight that was. Oh dear,
what
oh
a
dear.
win today. My goodness.
What a race. What a race. Lightning Lorry P9, Latari Racing P10, Fish and P11. Kennels, it will be demoted into Tier 2 for next week. Wasn't able to close that deficit. And Jensen also will be getting relegated into Tier 2 for next week as he comes across the line now. And Wolfie will be joining them in Tier 2 at round 5 at Laguna Seca. But wow, what a fantastic race that was. We'll be back in a second.
Holy cow.
Okay, so just confirmation on the race results then. Levitius wins round 4 at Watkins Glen in the Peugeot RCZ Group 3 one-make race by 5.8 seconds over VSR JDJ with his second position of the season, finishing in front of teammate VSR Richard, who is yet to finish outside of a podium this season. Then we've got Panic Potato that managed to hold off the likes of VSR Giller, Chaz, Nitro Merlin, and Puma Racing Nil as well for that 4th position. So Giller P5, Chaz or TNR Papaya Racer in P6, VSR Nitro Merlin in 7th position, Puma Racing Nil in 8th position. Also Nitro Merlin got the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 45.0. P9, a very, very satisfying P9 for debutee TNR Lightning Lorry, who grabs an excellent 9th position ahead of TNR Latari Racing, who occupies that top 10 finish. Then the last remaining position to remain in Tier 1 is VSR Fish, who got the rub of the green, certainly, as Kennels made a pretty bad mistake in the final laps there, and as the tyres started to die on him, wasn't able to get out of the drop zone. So Kennels will be joined by Jensen and VSR Wolfie into Tier 2 for next week. But we are going to be joined by the podium finishers of this race, Levitius, VSR JDJ and VSR Richard in the interview booth. So we'll get the thoughts of the top 3 drivers very, very shortly. Okay, right, into the other room.
Okay, do I have time to, like 60 seconds, use the bathroom real quick?
Third place finisher, we've got VSR Richard. Congratulations on that third position. How are you feeling after that?
No, I'm feeling very happy, very satisfied with a podium, although it's third place. I think, fuel safe. It was a strategic race. You had to save some fuel and save some tires, but still try to maintain some decent speed. So yeah, I think we did the jump on Levi too soon. He had also excellent pace. So well done to him for his first position. Really enjoyed it to race tonight, and also well done with his second position.
Yes, well, I was going to ask you on that then. So it looked like there was only kind of like one strategy for most of the drivers out there. So was it literally just a case of, when to get on the soft tyres or when... So basically you did 2 stints on the mediums, 1 on the softs, right? So was it just a case of just swapping them over? I mean, was you always going to do the strategy that you did today?
Yeah, I think it's always going to be the strategy that we did, 6 or 7 on softs and then 10, 11 medium stint. It's so difficult to break the slip, even if you're on mediums. I actually hope that the first 2 qualifiers, Potato and Levi, started on softs, because then they would have dragged us on the mediums along. But I think they quickly saw that and changed over to medium. So it's also then. It's going to be stupid to put on soft if you're not ahead, and it's very difficult to break the slip, because the battling guys in front of you with mediums, while you in the soft, you're going to waste that stint, and the backpack is just going to catch up with you, and you're going to find yourself in traffic and all kind of battles. So yeah, it was a little bit of it was a nice race. It was a little bit boring. We didn't want to battle too much. Obviously myself and JD had a party chat open, so we were continuously communicating and talking to each other, and swap positions, and see if we can maybe close the gap to Levi, but he was very fast on his mediums. And like I said, I think we made the jump on Levi in the pits too soon. I think we should have tried it in the second stop, but yeah, that's how we learn. But yeah, happy with the result. It was a nice race. Exciting to go through the chicane of Dave number 2. Although a little bit boring on some of the straights in a lonely race, but it was fun. It is fun.
Yeah, it certainly was a very interesting battle. Definitely a difficult one to call. And Slow-Mo, you got the pleasure of watching your very... being in the commentary booth with me and watching for the first time for these SMA drivers in the MSA Cup. So have you actually got any questions for Richard at all?
Oh, I certainly do, Richard. First of all, congratulations on the podium. I know you had mentioned a little bit of a boring drive. It was anything but boring up here in the booth. There was quite a bit of activity going on. Tell me a little bit about coming into the race. I mean, it didn't look like you got yourself into any trouble. I mean, was that one of the keys to being successful? Do you stay out of the penalties and, make sure and stay in pack and not get yourself into the grass?
Yeah, definitely. The penalties is quite heavy to serve on this track, especially on that uphill straight. So you lose a lot of time. Even if it's half a second or a second, you can lose close to 2 seconds getting a penalty. So yeah, just keeping it consistent, not push too hard for laps during the race. Obviously qualifying is a different story. Try to keep the penalties off, and then work together as a team. I think the VSR boys did excellent in this race. It was a team effort. So I think it panned out as we planned. Obviously, we would have liked to have first position, but unfortunately, that was not on the cards today. I think the Potato did get some damage, and that's where Levi pulled a slight gap on him. So I had to make the overtake there, because I knew he's going to be a little bit too slow. After his damage, I think it was the last corner that he hit all. I can't remember on which lap. So we made the pass, but Levi had good pace, so take nothing away from him. Try to maintain the gap and jump in the pits, but yeah, like I said, I think we did the jump too quickly. We should have fueled a bit there, stayed behind him, saved more fuel, and on the last pit stop, tried to jump him, and then the battle were on. He was just too fast ahead of us for the last stint.
Yeah, very well executed strategy. I know you said you could have changed it a little bit, but congratulations to you on your podium finish today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, and Richard, obviously, Yeah, okay, maybe a little bit disappointed, but you're doing so well in the championship. You've not finished outside of a podium so far, so hopefully I'm not jinxing you here. But
Commentators curse.
yeah, maybe we won't speak about that. But yeah, you're definitely got a nice lead at the top of the championship. So are you feeling good about that, and feeling good about going into the next round as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think we will definitely give it our all going into the next races that's coming up. Actually, not sure what it is, but we will put in the practice, and we will give the other drivers a run for their money and work out the best strat for us. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So now I think it's the championship is still open, wide open. Anything can happen. It takes a millisecond to make a big mistake, and then your race is completely ruined. So I think the championship is wide open between myself and Levi and JD and maybe 2 or 3 drivers. Unfortunately, Wolfie couldn't join us tonight. He's on vacation with his family in Mozambique. So yeah, he was also up there, but he's going to miss a couple of races. But yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. A bit of a shame to hear that. But obviously you can only concentrate on yourself, and you've done a fabulous job so far this season. So long may it continue, Richard, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard.
Cheers, bye.
Cheers, mate. Next up, we have second place finisher JDJ, or VSR JDJ, and another second position for you. How's that feel?
It feels awesome. Going into this race, like I said, the previous when we were in the interview room on the previous race, I wasn't expecting to be in the podium with this one, but like I said, anything can happen. Played well. It played in my hands quite well. I think when Panic Potato was still there, I think there was nothing to split the top 5 from Levitius to Gilara Brandewyn. So it was technically just a strategy race or fuel saving race, or just trying to work out what can give you that bit of an edge. I tried to fuel save as much as I can behind to see if I can't jump 1 or 2 drivers in the pits. I had a ton of fuel entering into the first for the first pit stop. So yeah, that worked quite nicely. I think could have played a bit different. Levitius, he had a 200 IQ moment in that race with I think, I'm not sure if he did it deliberately, but that extra couple of fuel he put in the pit stop, putting him behind me. He passed me, and that gave him the opportunity to fuel save behind Richard. I'm not sure if that was the plan, if that was the thought behind it. But if it was, of course, brilliantly thought. When I saw he threw in that extra bit of fuel, I knew we were a bit in trouble, because he was still on us, so it would have given him the better advantage entering the second pit stop phase. So I tried to fuel save as much as I can. I tried to out fuel save him to see if I can't get that advantage, and then yet again in the end of the pit stop, on the last pit stop, I saw he put in a bit less fuel than we did. I think he was fuel saving as well on his last stop, but gave him that advantage, breaking the slipstream, which affected the race for myself and Richard quite harshly, because of course you always get the benefit when in the slip. It's hard to break the toe when someone's in the slip, but yeah, overall it worked out lovely. I can't complain. Well done to Levitt, of course, and well done to Richard as well. I think it was a nice close race. I think the pace was quite similar between the podium guys. So yeah, can't complain. It's always nice being yeah.
Yeah, it was a great race from you. Something I did notice, JDJ, was there wasn't like too many like bold moves or silly manoeuvres. It looked like a lot of the drivers were pretty careful with trying to sort of go for the right manoeuvres. Particularly, I'd say the bus stop chicane. Was that kind of like the thought process? Just try and keep it away from the walls, try not to make contact with each other, make sure that it doesn't like ruin the strategy.
Yeah, of course. Entering the bus stop chicane, it's technically the most common overtaking spot. Yeah, I think it's almost, if you're driving on the normal line and without making an error, I think it's the only place you can overtake on this track. And it's a sketch overtake to make, because if you are not completely past the defending driver before entering the chicane, I wouldn't advise doing a two-man through the bus stop chicane, as a small incident, like a small tap or anything, and it will ruin someone's race by pushing them into the barrier, onto the grass, causing a spin. So you had to be within like about 400 tenths and have a decent exit out of turn 1 to actually be able to pass them. I know Richard and Papaya Racer, they hit the wall on the last corner, on the exit of the last corner, which granted me 2 positions, as I saw them tapping it, and it, of course, I got the run up to turn 1, and luckily I got past there. But yet again, it's not a situation you actually want to be in, because you're literally just giving them the tow for the next the bus stop entry. And the thing is, you also don't want to get passed by the bus stop entry, because then again you put yourself at risk of being side by side, being pushed a bit wide, causing a collision or ruining a person's race. That was technically, this race was just keep it clean, wait for mistakes to happen, capitalize on the mistakes, and just try to go forward from there.
Yeah, well put there. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's what we saw us in the commentary booth. So it was a very, very good performance from you, JDJ. I'm really happy that you got second position. Slow-mo, what are your thoughts on JDJ? Obviously, this is your first time of seeing JDJ with his masterclass driving. But any questions at all?
Oh, absolutely. JDJ, congratulations on that second place finish. From my perspective, it really looked like patience was what got you to where you are here. Tell me a little bit about how hard it was to stay patient, to make sure you weren't wrecking your teammates, but also keep your head in that mix to be able to have that opportunity to pass Richard and Panic Potato there towards the end.
This track does require extreme amount of patience, because of the the most common overtaking spot, the bus stop chicane. And if you're not close enough to be able to pass there, then you have to wait the whole lap, or you have to wait for an error. So patience was the game, not making stupid decisions by overtaking on spots where overtaking wasn't ideal. Of course, you also don't want to get a penalty after the race and lose your position by dropping positions for the penalties you've gained. So, yeah, the patient game was definitely, and it's quite frustrating to have to be that patient. Of course, you want to gain positions every single lap. I know when Leviticus was between myself and Richard, all I wanted to do was just see if I can't put my nose in, but it's just not worth the risk. I want to mess up Leviticus' race by making a small unintentional accident, anything. So it was always just patient, hoping maybe Leviticus goes a bit wide on the entry of the bus stop chicane, pushing a bit wide, losing a bit of time, because that's where I found overtaking to be also quite easy, is on the exit of the bus stop chicane, entering that long right-hander. If you went a bit wide and you get the attacking driver gets a better line, you can actually sneak yourself into that corner. I think that happened with me and Kennels as I was on my outlap after the first stop. He messed up the bus stop chicane by a bit and gave me a slight position just to sneak into the inside and just pass it there. But yeah, patience was definitely the game. A bit frustrating, of course. Like I said, you always want to gain a position, but the patient game works, as we've seen today.
Yeah, very well done. Congratulations on that second place podium finish.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and just to reiterate what I said to Richard as well, obviously you're looking very strong in the championship, so getting second position today definitely pushes you up the championship. So are you feeling like confident ahead of the next round?
Yeah, well, I was actually just, when you mentioned it, I was actually quickly looking at the standings at the moment, and we're still waiting for drop rounds to be included. And I know my first race I got a 9th position, which kind of drops me in the standings. So as soon as those those drop rounds get talliated with the points, I'll think I'll gain with it. I think Richard will remain on his P1, and I think it will be close between me and Levitius in second. So of course that's a bit of motivation, seeing as Levitius in the previous season was quite dominant. I think he won like 9 races in a row, maybe 10.
10, I think.
So it's actually it's actually quite nice being able to have similar pace to Levitius. It's now just working on that strategy. So yeah, I'm confident. Next race, I'm not completely sure what the next race is, but of course gonna practice extremely hard, try my best, maybe, and hope to see you guys for the 4th time in a row. That would be the dream.
That would be nice, yeah, that would be nice. And yeah, the details for the next race will be coming up after the interview. So if you do get a chance, JDJ, stick around on the stream, and we'll give you all the details. But congratulations on 2nd position, and yeah, we definitely look forward to seeing how you get on next week, because I don't want to give away too many clues, but it's definitely an interesting combo. So yeah, well done on 2nd position, and good luck for the next round.
Thank you very much, and thank you to you guys, of course, supporting, streaming, and doing commentating. It's awesome watching. I watch every single race afterwards, just to see it from your guys' perspective, and it's always awesome to watch. I love the commentary and everything. You guys are doing an awesome job. So yeah, thank you very much, and yeah, hope to see you guys next week.
I appreciate that, JDJ. Yeah, we do it for you guys. You guys are the stars. We just hype you up. So we appreciate them compliments. And yeah, today's definitely an interesting one as well throughout the grid. But yeah, we'll see you next week. But thank you for your time, JDJ, and take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, okay, and then on to our race winner, Levitius. 2nd win in a row. Levitius, you must be feeling good about that.
Honestly, that was a absolutely splendid race. Everything that I did just went to plan. Strategy was honestly on point, and had to adjust my entire second stint approach after I saw the other drivers underfuel quite a lot. Well, not underfuel a lot, but just enough that they wouldn't be able to do 7 laps. And then that just told me that I can play by their tactics and go a bit slower and save fuel behind them. And it worked really well. Yeah.
Yeah, so something that we obviously couldn't call, and we didn't know whether or not you... I wouldn't say messed up in strategy, but the first stint we noticed that the VSR drivers behind you were saving quite a bit more fuel. Obviously I know, Levitius, you was leading the pack. You had Panic Potato just behind you, so you was kind of at a disadvantage. But was you quite surprised to see them leapfrog you for the second stint of the race?
Well, to be honest, you're not really. The slipstream delta, when you're in someone's slip, you're gaining about half a second per lap with the run all the way to the bus stop, and then just the mini straights as well. You're gaining so much time. So I'm just cutting a big hole in the air for them to gain time through me. And honestly, once I realized that they fueled or they saved a lot more fuel than me, 10 liters it was. I knew already I was going to do 7 laps on themselves because I knew my tire wear was really good, and it did come to fruition. And once I came out in 3rd in the pits, I was like, okay, let's just see what can happen here. But I managed to get a perfect timing in the slipstream where Richard didn't give JDJ any slip, so I was actually kind of surprised. So I took the opportunity with both hands and got in between them, and then just basically used Richard the entire stint and saved about, I think it's like 10% extra fuel. So just honestly, it just worked out so well. I can't really complain. And then I came out the pits about 2 seconds ahead, so I completely got out of their slipstream, so there was no way of them getting back into that area where they can gain a lot of lap time on me. And the rest was just managing the pace. Yeah.
Well, yeah, certainly something you did. You outfoxed a lot of the VSR drivers out there. Well, not a lot of them, all of them. So congratulations on that race victory. Slow-mo, our new commentator, I'm pretty sure that you would have been impressed with Levitius's drive out there, but what are your thoughts and your questions to him?
Oh, no question. Levitius, it was a bit of a masterclass there. You showed an incredible racing IQ there with your strategy and your knowledge. Did you have any concerns as you were kind of coming out of the pits, knowing that they were going to leapfrog you a little bit? Sounds like you were pretty comfortable operating from the split, and it doesn't sound like you had any real concerns getting by them in the last portion of the race there. Anything worry you at that point? Were you worried about having to push too hard to get back up to the front?
Once I realized that the slipstream is very strong, we're not using real slipstream, we're using the weak slipstream. So I know already that I have to have a very bad mistake to lose them. Even if I was coming out in third position out of the bus stop on the first lap on the softs, I knew, irrespective, I can just hang with them. And if I had to make a move on JDJ, I would have probably done it. But I just basically just kept it in between both of them. I made sure if JDJ got close, I held the middle line through some of the corners. Just to try and put him off a little bit. But honestly, it was just full-on management for the second stint to set me up for the third stint so I didn't have to be around them. That was my mindset. Once I realized they're coming out ahead of me, just focus on saving as much fuel as possible because you want to spend as little time on the pits as possible, and it worked out.
Yeah, very, very well executed strategy. And I don't know if you heard JDJ, compliment on that race strategy. It was very well executed, super exciting to watch. There was just so much going on. Flawed and I could barely keep up through that race. So kudos to you on your race victory. Looking forward to see what you're going to do here for the rest of the season.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, again, Levitius, I have to say, fantastic victory. It seems like you've found your rhythm once again, and you are starting to sort of home into the likes of Richard. Now, I'm not sure how it's going to work out at the end of the next round, because obviously the drop round comes into play. But are you starting to feel a little bit more confident now going into next round?
100%. I really there's a big point shift today. There was 9-point shift in the championship, and plus it's not including the drop round, which was a 6th place at least. So there's going to be a bit of a huge points shift if I win the next round as well at Laguna Seca. I do feel cautiously optimistic in the IDR. I like that car a lot. I like the track a lot. So just sign me up right now. If we can go race right now, I'm ready. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, I was going to mention what it was. So no one heard that. But yeah, Laguna Seca round 5 in our special event. It's definitely going to be full of surprises. And it sounds like you're already quietly confident, Lev. So look forward to seeing how you get on, and keep on pushing to make this championship really interesting and tight at the top.
Thank you so much.
Well done on today, and we look forward to seeing you next week, mate.
Thank you, man, and thank you for the amazing job you guys do, and also to Hugh as well previously. You guys do a great job, and I look forward to the future races. Thank you.
Thank you, Lev. Thank you for the compliments, and take care of yourself, mate.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, so that rounds up the driver interviews for today. Some very interesting thoughts of the top 3 drivers, and hopefully we didn't spoil it for you what's coming up for the next round. So without further ado, yes, we are at Laguna Seca for next week on Monday, July the 7th, as we are off to California of North America. Now, this special event at Laguna Seca features 11 turns in a clockwise direction, and is I think I've written that wrong, but I think it's roughly about 4 kilometers in length. Obviously famous for the dreaded corner corkscrew, and will be a tough time for the cars and the drivers. Obviously, being a dry and very hot location, but also as well gravel either side of the circuit, and if that doesn't stop you, then of course you have got the concrete walls to face as well. But the surprise of this special event is the car that the drivers will be using, which is now confirmed as the Volkswagen ID Electric 2019 car. Something that is quite unusual in the world of Gran Turismo. It has as much power as your typical Group 1 car, but of course being electric, it just has that one gear. Very, very fast, but it does require a lot of delicate inputs, careful driving to handle this monster of a car at what is already a tricky layout at Laguna Seca. But also as well, so this is a special event, which means this is a simulator cave event. This is in dedication for that company, where our teams and drivers will be applying a special simulator cave design in light of our special guest JP, the owner of South Africa's own dedicated sim racing equipment company, where he will actually give you an insight to all his high-end products that he recommends, as well as answering all them important questions that you as viewers may have for him. It's SMA's way of saying a big thank you for all the support this company has provided over the years, and continues to do so to support our sport sim racing on behalf of the nation. So make sure you do tune in to next week's broadcast, because you really don't want to miss this one. And speaking of sponsors, of course, is that the MSA Cup is sponsored by Simulator Cave, the haven for all your sim racing requirements in South Africa. But also, we are sponsored by TGSC Cape Town Golf Academy, the hotbed of nurturing talented golfers to reach full greatness. Now, we kind of briefly spoke about it in commentary. So today was the last chance for the drivers to gain promotion and relegation from their respective tiers. So from race 5, the final determined tier position will be based on your total logged points, with the dropped round included, meaning the worst round will be deducted from your final logged points. This will then determine which tier you will race in for the rest of the season. Now, the top 3 from each tier will receive a special prize come the end of the season. I have no idea on what that may well be. So yeah, just as an example then, so I don't know of the top 3 drivers from Tier 2, but P12, which was Kennels, P13, oh no, I've forgotten who P13 was. I think it was Jensen, wasn't it? Jensen P13 and Wolfie P14. They will get relegated into the tier below. I don't know why it says P15 on my screenshot, but I assure you it should be 12, 13 and 14. But anyways, so that is the format going forward from race 5. Lockdown will be happening from race 6. So also, just as always, please subscribe to our socials at Sim Motorsport Association on all our platforms: Facebook, Instagram, our growing community on Discord, and of course this very channel on YouTube. Make sure, if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button, click in the bell notification so you don't miss any of our content, which will spread across the platform. And definitely, when you're done watching, hit the like button to help with the YouTube algorithm. I've just kind of mentioned that spreads the content across the platform, but we fully appreciate you. If you'd like to contact Robin Williams, our MSA GT7 promoter, for further details, the email links will be in the description below and on our YouTube homepage. Okay, so Slow-Mo, we've come to pretty much the end of the broadcast. What are your thoughts on SMA, the type of driving that we have? You know, I mean, it was an absolute pleasure to have you alongside me today. You've done an absolute sterling job, like I knew that you would. But what are your thoughts on today's race? And if you could give us your driver of the day as well, please.
Flawed, well, always an honor to get an opportunity to work with you here in the booth, and such an honor to be here for the races today. We're talking about world-class drivers here. There's no doubt about it. These guys were pushing. They did it the right way. You know, there was no terrible, what's the word I'm looking for here? They weren't going after each other. They weren't pushing each other off track.
Aggressive.
It was a very, very classy race by our drivers today. So
yeah.
Kudos to everyone on track. You guys put on a wonderful show for us to do our best to keep up with. There was so much action going on track. Even with two sets of eyes, we could barely keep track of all of it. So what an absolute show was put on today by these world-class drivers here from South Africa.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, I did warn you, Slow-Mo, that we was going to have our hands full, and yeah, just struggling to keep up with all the action. It's always a pleasure at the SMA, and yeah, hopefully it's a nice little taster really for when you do comms for, you know, future seasons and stuff. But you know, thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, Slow-Mo, of course you are a YouTuber, so tell us a little bit about your channel, and obviously where to find you, and any kind of future plans for the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on YouTube at GT-Slow-Mo. I do some Gran Turismo racing. I also do a little bit of golf in a bit of an unorthodox way. We do some Grand Theft Auto golf, not something you see all the time. We also do a little bit of racing on Grand Theft Auto as well. So I love to race. I love to get out on track, whether it's Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto, or any of the other racing games out there. So stop by, check out the channel, drop some likes and subscribes. We always love that. Let me know what you think of the stuff out there, and hopefully we get to see everybody on track very soon.
Yeah, guys, please do hit that subscribe button for Slow-Mo. I think he does deserve it, right? You know, he's done an absolutely sterling job today. I'm a little bit gutted that he can't be with us for the rest of the season, because he's just honestly, Slow-Mo, like obviously this is why I got you into the commentary booth, because I know of how well equipped you are in terms of just keeping up with the racing action, and supplying us with all the information that we need across the grid. And yeah, again, mate, kudos to you. Fantastic job, and yeah, good luck in future endeavours, and thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure, Flawed. Always an honor to get to work with you. You do an absolute bang job there leading the ship. I did everything I could to keep paddling behind you, and like I said, there was just so much going on track. We almost needed two other people here to be able to keep up with all that. That was an absolute exciting race today.
Yes, indeed it was. And yeah, we are. I did actually see in the chat, actually, in terms of who will be joining me next week. Yes, you were right. Tucson Box will be joining me in the commentary booth for round 5 at Laguna Seca, now confirmed in the Volkswagen IDR electric car. So yeah, it's only going to be a very exciting one. Tucson Box is definitely going to have his hands full yet again, and yeah, make sure you do tune in next week for that one. But yeah, again, Slow-Mo, thank you so much for your company, and yeah, we'll definitely chat soon. All right.
Yeah, thanks again. Cheers, Flawed.
You're very welcome. Okay, so it was Levitius who romped home to become the winner in round 4 of the MSA Cup. That is 2 wins in a row as the championship starts to hot up. So what surprises will we have in store for the next round for our special event at Laguna Seca? Well, we will have to wait and find out till next week. So make sure you tune into this very channel on YouTube at the Sim Motorsport Association for Monday the 7th of July at 8:40 p.m. Eastern Africa time. Eastern Africa time, that is. But from everyone in the MSA and the SMA production team, a huge thank you for watching, and we will see you next week. I've been your main host, Flawed Genius Gaming. Stay safe out there, have a fantastic week, and it's a bye-bye for now. SMA, growing the sport together.